Meanwhile, a long time ago, in Mystique and Destiny's arts and crafts room.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Irene, I have to tell you, last night was amazing.
Last night was amazing. Sorry, I can't help it.
I must say, I hope we didn't wake Rogue up.
Wake Rogue up. Sorry, I just can't help but complete your sentences.
Irene, I told you not to do that anymore.
Anymore.
All right. So, what should we do today?
Oh, well, we're going to have a barbecue in the park.
Destiny, I told you, my stomach isn't feeling good and I can't eat meat right now.
Right now. Sorry.
Irene, you're telling me you saw the future and that we are going to a bar. You're going to force me to eat this meat?
Yes, you're making pork ribs. You love them. You're delicious. You insist on putting honey mustard on them. I think it's disgusting, but I tried and then I like it.
Fine. Well, just to let you know, I've been having a blonde day today. I've decided to be blonde today. Not that you...
I can't see.
I know you can't see. It doesn't matter. That's why I had to say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Sorry.
Irene, I think we need to talk.
Yes, we do talk in 3, 2, 1. What is it?
This is not working out. You're driving me insane.
You go to a bar, you have a few Cosmos, you come back and apologize within hours.
I just have to say
it's sorry.
Difficult to have a fight with you.
And you scream in 3, 2, 1.
Stop telling me what I'm going to do!
All right, get out.
Fine, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave and I'm going to go murder some people.
Murder some people. Raven, no.
Well, look, do I murder people or not? You're the...
No.
I will. I'm going to. Don't tell me I'm not going to. I will.
Oh, now you are, because I said you weren't. Now you are.
What? Now I'm not going to.
She's going to. Sorry.
Jesus. Oh, crap. It's Rogue. Hi, Sugar. Hi, Mama. Hi, Irene. Are y'all fighting again? Are y'all fighting again?
No, child. No. Your mother was just on her way out.
I think I have a new plan to destroy the X-Men. What do you think about it, Irene?
You're going to become good.
What? All right, that is enough. I can't take this anymore, Irene. I think here's your walking cane and get out.
Get out. Sorry.
You said it after
me. All right, goodbye. If you need me, well, I don't know where I'll be.
No, wait a minute, Irene. Don't go. I still love you. But you knew that, didn't you?
I know.
Oh, gross. You guys are going to do cunnilingus again. I'm going to leave.
We're lesbians.
Lesbians!
Hi, I'm fucking EvilJeff and shit.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 133 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. I am your host, Brett. That was an in-canon scene from Mystique and Destiny's past, and with me, as always, is EvilJeff.
Hi, yes, it's in canon. That every word of that actually happened.
EvilJeff, we have been focusing on so many gay icons lately.
Yes.
In comic books, in X-Men, really.
Yes, we have. Not only gay icons, but also the fag hags as well.
Yes, gay icons and the straight women who love them. But we have no time for straight women, not anymore.
No. It's time for, as Kristen Wiig said in Bridesmaids, lesbians!
Lesbians! We have been focusing so much on our gay male counterparts on Krakoa that we think it's high time to focus on some lesbians.
Yes, or gay women. Some gay women do not like the term lesbian.
They like gay women.
Like
and
Ellen.
I don't understand.
Ellen likes to be called gay and not a lesbian.
Ellen is the Antichrist and has no business saying anything
Well, it's all
about being
coming
a homosexual.
It's so funny. Like, I've heard for years because I have two friends that worked on her show about what a monster she is.
She's a monster.
But that's the thing is but this is literally for 10 years I've heard the stories of her being a monster.
Really?
And now, yes. I mean, this was 10 years ago when I heard where she sent someone home because she felt she could smell him and he needed to take a shower. She's crazy. But, and then she has a bowl of gum in the front where you have to, whenever you go to talk to her, you have to take a stick of gum and put it in your mouth because she just assumes everyone has bad breath. Anyway,
oh my God.
you are not allowed to ever cough or open your mouth too wide in front of her. She's nuts. But now it's all coming home to roost because it's all coming out of the woodworks about what a bitch she is, and apparently she's not handling it very well.
Yeah, someone I follow mysteriously tweeted, and it's got so many thousand likes. I have information on Ellen that could get her arrested. Oh my God.
What the hell? I know. It's
I don't
probably
know.
about how Portia de Rossi is kept in a cage when she comes
Probably.
home every night.
All right, well, we're not here to talk about the one monster lesbian that exists.
Well,
we're
that's
here
the
to
thing,
talk about all the other ones.
But because if we have to admit it, if you take the idea of a gay man, a straight man, a gay woman, a straight woman, I think gay woman is the best, right?
How so? I mean, yeah, but
I think they're the most superior because they don't have to, because they're self-sufficient, they know what they want, and they don't have to put up with a man's bullshit.
thank God. Can
And
you
they get
imagine having
shit
to put
done.
up with girls' bullshit? It's so much better for lesbians. I mean, I'm thankful I don't have to put up with women's bullshit.
Yeah.
Men's bullshit is so much worse.
Yeah.
And lesbians don't have to put up with that.
But I will say, during the course of this episode, we may dive into some lesbian stereotypes.
Oh,
and
God.
we may even say the word dyke a few times. And I would just say, just roll with it. We love lesbians.
May we have permission to use the word dyke? It just makes it more fun. It
Yes.
just makes talking about it more fun. So we're just going to be saying dyke a lot. Okay.
Yeah. I feel once you're gay, you get, we're allowed to say that word.
We say the F word on the show all the time.
Yes.
We're claiming it, just like Safe Space and Snowflake on the New Warriors. We are taking it back.
So I think it's a good time to talk about this because I think right now it is very trendy
Oh, lesbians are so hot right
to be a
now,
lesbian,
especially in geekdom.
in geekdom and superhero world. I think it all started with Willow from Buffy, paved the
Thank
way.
you.
Thank you, Willow. But right now, Brett got me into the Harley Quinn show. Mm-hmm. And in the last two episodes, yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, the last two episodes, Harley realizes that she's in love with Poison Ivy, which is amazing. I love it. I love it.
Especially since so much of the show focuses on their relationship and how much they care about each other and how much they love being around each other and how much they get each other. I mean, of course, it's going to be a little romantic. In the heat of a moment, they kissed. They shared a kiss. And it got real weird after that because Poison Ivy is engaged to Kite Man. And they're working through it. But it's pretty clear that their feelings for each other are pretty real.
Yeah.
And that's pretty great.
But Poison Ivy really does love Kite Man, too, so
Yeah.
I don't know. And then Harley Quinn was so in denial with her feelings that she went on a villainous, murder rampage.
She became like a herald of Darkseid with her own
Because she couldn't
parademon
deal
army.
with her burgeoning lesbianism.
She was so angry, she had to go to Apocalypse to deal with it.
And I love this version of Granny Goodness.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about you when I watched it. I was like, there was a time where EvilJeff had no idea who Granny Goodness was and
Now
just
I
could
can't.
not get his head around the
she's
concept.
Do you watch the Young Justice, the cartoon?
No, but she's a big part of
It's
it.
really she's a huge part of it because she plays it's almost like she's like this spokesperson where it's like Granny's cereal. So she has this oh gosh, grandmother Barbara Bush type of vibe.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
behind the scenes she's like, bleh. all dominatrix
I wish.
crazy.
You know who I wish was still alive, if I can date myself for a second? Because I think she would play the best Granny Goodness.
Barbara Bush.
Yes. And Martha Ray. Remember Martha Ray?
Martha Ray, yeah. That'd be great. That's kind
well.
Well, that's who you went to for Granny Goodness.
All right, lesbians.
Lesbians. Oh, Shira. We forgot about Shira.
Shira, who, spoilers, after 5 seasons, I believe.
Is it 5 seasons already?
Is it 5 seasons? I think it is. Are they short seasons?
I don't know. I actually haven't watched
God.
it. But when she finally met her and Catra.
Catra. Yeah.
Wow. Of course Catra's a lesbian. She's named after Pussy. Come on.
Oh. Great.
Isn't Legend of Korra? Isn't she a lesbian in that too?
Let's say yes. Let's say yes to all main characters turning out to embrace their lesbian side.
Yeah.
It's a thing. We love to see it.
I love
All right, but we are here to talk specifically about the lesbians on the Isle of Lesbo. I'm just kidding. Krakoa.
X-Dykes.
The X-Dykes.
Yes. And let's go, if we had to go chronologically, I think the very first ones are Mystique and Destiny.
I mean, we're talking turn of the century, 1900, that is.
And even publication-wise.
Yeah, even subtextually, but pretty clearly.
But here's the thing that I want to talk about. Was Mystique first showed up? Do you know where she first showed up?
In Ms. Marvel?
Yes. I never realized this. I always assumed, and this is me being dumb, even though I've read most of it, I forgot Mystique and Magneto were never on the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants at the same time.
Together. Right.
And I just...
She had hers, he had his.
I know, right? And for some reason in my brain, I'm like, that is right. She did not show up in the X-Men comics until Days of Future Past. Mm-hmm. And that's the first appearance of Irene. And then they show up later in like Dazzler and other things. But yeah, Mystique was originally just a Ms. Marvel villain. Isn't that kind of crazy?
She beat Ms. Marvel's boyfriend at the time to death while disguised as Ms. Marvel. So he thinks that Carol Danvers, the love of his life, beat him to death.
Yeah, she's pretty bad.
Yeah, she's a villain. But she sure does love that Irene Adler.
Now, when Chris Claremont, do you know this, Brett? What was Chris Claremont's original intentions with Mystique? Did he originally write her as a lesbian?
No.
Wrong. He had always intended for him and Irene to be together because he invented her. Well, someone else kind of drew her, but he decided to use her because of her blue skin. He always wanted her to be Nightcrawler's father. And Destiny was going to be the mother.
Wow.
That was from day one. That's what Chris Claremont wanted to do, which I think is amazing.
Amazing.
But do you know why they did not do this?
Society?
Sort of. It's something called the CCA. Do you remember how it always said approved by the Comics Code Authority?
Oh, I'm familiar with the Comics Code Authority. Yes.
The Comic Code Authority. Have you ever read the rules of the Comic Code Authority? This is starting in the 50s. Yeah. Marvel adhered to the Comic Code Authority until...
It's a response to Batman and Robin.
Until 2001.
Fuck you.
And DC followed it until 2011.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
What? So here's the other thing. Wait, what happened with Batman and Robin that they started the CC? Why? What happened?
In the 50s, everyone they got accused of being homosexuals.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my! That's the reason. Oh my God!
Yes.
Well, here there is thing. here's some of the rules. All scenes of horror, excessive bloodshed, gory, or gruesome crimes, depravity, lust, sadism, masochism shall not be permitted. Okay, Jean Grey's Black Queen. Okay.
Right.
I guess that got past them. All lurid, unsavory, gruesome illustrations shall be eliminated. There's also things like, if crime is depicted, it shall be as sordid and unpleasant. Policemen, judges, and government officials and respected institutions shall never be presented in such a way as to create disrespect for the established authority. In every instance, good shall triumph over evil, and the criminal is punished for their misdeeds. Here's the thing here. Listen to this. Illicit sex relations are neither to be hinted at or portrayed. Rape scenes, as well as, here it is, sexual abnormalities are acceptable.
Hey, that's me.
Seduction and rape shall never be suggested. Sex perversion or any inference to the same is strictly forbidden. So, literally, if you wanted to make a superhero comic, it was against the rules to have anyone gay.
And just a little backup, EvilJeff. This is because there was a book written by an American psychiatrist named Frederick Wortham in 1954 called Seduction of the Innocent that was all about or included comic books and the need for censorship because of Batman and Robin being gay partners, Wonder Woman being a bondage character, Superman being a fascist. These were all so somebody just wrote a book that was very popular and it led to the CCA.
And it's just insane to me that is why, because it wasn't until 2001 that they disbanded it. And you'll kind of notice things like the X-Force comic, that could never be, or the Marvel Knights, like those things could have never existed.
Think about why Watchmen is such an icon. This is why.
Yeah.
Because Watchmen was like, I'm going to do all those things.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. Why did he could say he was gay, but he could never have a relationship?
Yeah.
Like, that's as far as they could push the envelope, is him just uttering that he's a homosexual. That was as far as it could go, which was so strange because I find the irony in it, or I don't know if irony is the right word, and maybe it's Alanis Morissette irony, how at the same time, Doug Savant, who played the gay character on Melrose Place. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He also, his only plot lines, he never really got a relationship. And the only relationship he ever got was with a guy. And then it turns out he had AIDS. And then then he went into the hospital. So it's so funny how the only plot lines that gay people are allowed to have involved AIDS. Where it's just remember, they have AIDS.
Yep. Remember.
So that's the whole thing is but Chris Claremont, much like Renaissance painters back in their time, trying to appease the church, but always secretly slipping in their little hidden agendas in their paintings. Chris Claremont, it says not even hinted at. Oh, but he hinted. Fucking Destiny and Mystique are living together, raising Rogue together. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
They're very explicit about how much they care for one another.
This is my roommate. Yeah. That was the thing. Back in the 70s and 80s, lesbians, they just had roommates.
Well, we're going to talk about another character later who is known for forming intensely emotional relationships with her roommates.
Yeah.
Mystique and Destiny are no different.
And I would say, what do you like about Mystique and Destiny?
They're genuine. They're
genuine. The rapper, genuine.
Yeah. I mean, they're bona fide. Their love for one another is nothing but authentic. They would never purposefully screw each other over. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They are in it for one another, and they always have been. And I also like that they met, according to my research, because Irene hired Raven to help her interpret her diaries. Raven was a detective at the time. And so their whole relationship was centered around and steeped in the future and understanding the future and shaping the future. So they've always been devoted to that mission and to each other. That's what I like about them.
Here's the one thing, though, is I feel like the problem with Destiny, which in later, I guess in the latest run of when we saw in House of X, I always felt she had short-term precognition.
Yep, no.
Where later it shows that she does have like long-term precognition. The one thing that bothers me with that, and here I found because I was reading Days of Future Past again, the whole entire thing is Destiny is like, we have to do this, this, and this, but she doesn't see that their actions actually make everything worse.
Yeah.
Which I always found kind of strange. But
yeah, that is weird.
But whatever. Destiny and Irene. Oh, that's the same person. And Mystique. Mystique and Destiny. I also like, it's just weird that then they're like raising a child together.
Yeah.
And, but Mystique is also a very conflicted character because depending on who's writing her, she goes back and forth from having a conscience to not having a conscience.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of loved the run. What's the run? Who wrote the X-Men Legacy run?
Which run?
Well, what's the one the X-Men?
The one about Rogue?
Iceman, and where she forms the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Sabretooth and Lady Mastermind, and where she's like infiltrates the X-Men with Rogue and Iceman and Cannonball.
Oh, yeah. The Rogues team with Cannonball and Iceman.
Mystique is like some hardcore evil in that.
Yeah, I mean, she turns out, they show her like her good side, but it turns out that she is betraying them along
the whole
with
time. Yeah.
Lady Mastermind and Sabretooth on behalf of Sinister. Yeah.
Yeah, so but whereas like when she was kind of on the Freedom Force, she was a lot more, she was still like more of a conflicted villain. Like, like she definitely, like they showed more her love for Destiny. And I like to think of it as once Destiny died, she had no reason, and she lost Rogue to the X-Men, she had no reason to be good anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And
like
so
that
now
was her
she's
heart,
like,
right?
I'm just going to be full on crazy evil.
I remember the first time. So we're reading, post Fall of the Mutants, post Inferno, X-Men, and the Muir Island saga with the Shadow King, and this is where Destiny is killed by Legion. And I think it was the first time I remember being like, "Oh, hold up," was when Destiny died. And Mystique reacts. And I knew, they're always like, I love her. But when she dies, Mystique screams. And somebody says a line like, I've never heard anything like that scream before, not even in war. And I was like, oh, she really...
Doesn't she carry her body off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that line in The Golden Girls where Blanche meets up with her former nanny, who's played by Ruby Dee? And Ruby Dee came for Big Daddy's music box after Big Daddy had just died.
Yeah.
And Blanche would not give her the music box. And Ruby Dee says, Blanche, I loved your father.
No, I loved your father.
She's like, everybody loved Big Daddy. She goes, no, Blanche, I loved your father. That's impossible. Big Daddy was a Republican. But that was when I was like, oh, Mystique doesn't love Destiny. She loves Destiny.
I was in a production of that episode.
You were in a production of that episode?
Yeah, there was a thing called Golden Girls Live where these four drag queens would do episodes of the Golden Girls.
Oh my God, I think you meant like in a school play.
No, and then they did that episode of the Big Daddy and the Nanny and the music box.
Incredible.
Anyway, yeah, I love me some Mystique and Destiny.
I did find some contradicting writing about their origin.
Okay.
So Chris Claremont in Extreme X-Men wrote that Irene had all these visions. She wrote the diaries, and she hired a detective named Raven Darkholme to help her interpret what was all a chicken scratch and code and pictograms. And they cut back to that. It's very much turn of the century. And Raven has her blue skin, but she's wearing like a safari hat, like a jaunty man's hat and like a jaunty man's suit. She's wearing a man's suit. I was like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Lesbian chic. Like, she looks so good, and she's such a lesbian. Then I was flipping through Chaos War, like that horrible event that happened in Marvel. Like the Chaos King was raising the dead, and
when did that happen?
Very, oh God. I should have that information. It happened in 2010.
Oh, 2010.
2010,
okay.
Yeah. And so there's just like 2-issue series, and it's written by Louise Simonson and Chris Claremont, but it kind of contradicts. It says that Destiny was with a man named Eric Raven, and that man turned out to be Mystique. So maybe that was just like their public face. I don't know. Maybe that's what that was, but like it was very much a non-heterosexual relationship when it started, according to Extreme X-Men.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, your husband's really a lady, which is kind of what Chaos War suggests. But then again, Chaos War, I don't count it because it takes place in the afterlife, and one of the characters is Moira McTaggart.
Oh, right.
So no, you don't count.
Yeah, that whole thing is just, we're saying forget it.
We're saying forget it for that. But, I mean, yeah, like they're really... So a lot of these episodes we've been doing is the search for subtext. Iceman, we were looking for subtext. Even North Star. But Destiny and Mystique, like, I think it was always more than subtext.
Well, the thing is, Iceman, we're looking for subtext that the writers weren't aware that they were putting in.
Right.
The writers, Chris Claremont, was aware he was putting it in.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference. Should we move on to another lesbian?
Yeah, what other lesbians are out there?
I think the other most prominent ex-lesbian would be chameleon. Karma. So Karma was always kind of, and I will say, like, reading the early issues of the New Mutants, for even though Chris Claremont created her, I feel like he never really got the hang of, I felt like he was bored with her powers.
Yeah.
And he kind of just got rid of her pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And she did not come back until she got possessed by the Shadow King and then became fat.
I just feel like you talk about that so much.
Why? Because when a character becomes 400 pounds, I think
it's a big deal.
I think it's a big deal. And that reminds me of lesbian bed death. Have you ever heard of lesbian bed death?
Yeah, we did a sketch about it when I was in Gayco.
It's where when lesbians, after a certain amount of time of being together, they're so comfortable, they just stop having sex and gain a bunch of weight because all they do is just eat and watch TV.
Yeah.
So this was Karma's lesbian bed death, except without a couple.
Except without, yeah.
But then she lost the weight in the Asgardian Wars. And then she still wasn't part of anything. When did she actually come out?
She came out, we started to be like, is Shan a lesbian? Around X-Force 75, where Adam Polina took over as the artist, and we got, like, Boom Boom became Meltdown, and they were wearing those, like, purple and yellow outfits, and Warpath had short hair. It was around then. She met up with them. I like that run, too. She met up with them at Burning Man and was like, hey, guys, I have new short pink hair, and I'm living with a lesbian couple in the village. And everyone was like, oh.
Did she say, I'm living with a lesbian couple?
I'm living with two. I think she does say a lesbian couple, yeah.
That's so funny. Mm-hmm. So this is her, like, experimenting. This reminds me, I've been going through the Community, just came on Netflix. And I've been rewatching it. And there's one episode where it has the girl. Did you ever watch the OA? That dumb angel?
No, the dancing thing? No.
Yeah. The star of that, she's a guest star, and she plays this lesbian, and Britta, the character... You've seen Community, right?
Yeah.
But there's a whole thing where Britta's like, I'm friends with this new girl, and she's a lesbian. Yes, that's right. I'm friends with a lesbian. And then later on, Annie runs into the lesbian's friend, and she's like, oh, my friend's so excited to be friends with a lesbian. like, so the friend is straight, but thinks Britta's... So they each think each other are lesbians, and they're only hanging out with each other for lesbians. And then finally they both realize that they're not lesbians, and they get all angry at each other. And the one girl says to Britta, which is my favorite line of the show so far, I never thought you were cool. I just thought you were a lesbian. And then she storms off.
No.
Anyway, I feel like this was, Karma just decides she probably moved in. She probably moved in with these two lesbians, and the two lesbians are like, They're probably looking at each other like, she totally is on our side. She's a friend of Dorothy. But I bet you know what happens? Do you think Karma broke that couple up? Do you think she had an affair with one of them?
Definitely.
I think it started where she started possessing each of them while they were having sex.
She wanted to have sex, but like not actually have sex.
Yeah,
she wanted to experience
she
it.
would possess one of them, and then they started to catch on, and then she fell in love with one, and then they were like, you know what, you fucked up our relationship, get out. And then she's like, now I'm gonna get out. Now
she's like, I'm gonna dye my hair pink.
I'm gonna dye my hair pink, and I'm gonna live my life as I want, not just for my stupid brother and sister. Where are they?
Oh God, I was afraid you were gonna ask me that question. I think they're fine.
I think they were mentioned in Matthew Rosenberg's
They're always
run.
going missing.
I think they were mentioned in Matthew Rosenberg's run when Karma was like, I don't want to be an X-Man. I just want to like live my life.
But yeah. But Karma's really never gotten a healthy relationship storyline, right?
There's always every once in a while. It's like in the New Mutants, where it was New Mutants and then it became New X-Men. That whole story where she was the teacher. There's a thing where she mentions that she just broke up with her girlfriend, but they never show the relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all like, I've had girlfriends, I'm living with a lesbian couple, but they never show her. Like, even when she was part of Astonishing X-Men, North Star was the one that got all the gay relationships. Karma was just like, great, I just have no leg. Oh, you get to have a boyfriend and get married? Give the lesbian a bionic leg. Thanks.
Right. You got a husband, I have a metal leg. Thanks.
Also, if I was Karma, I would fucking slit my throat at Krakoa and be like, can I have my leg back? I want to have a fucking leg.
Can I have my leg? And my skin is still loose from the Shadow King.
Oh, yeah, she probably has tons of stretch marks. Oh, fuck that. I would just walk up in front of Storm and just fucking slit my throat.
Just possess somebody to kill you.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Yeah, possess someone that you like want to be sent into the... Well, I guess you can't... It's not an automatic... where do they get sent? Like, where did Sabretooth get sent? In the depths of Krakoa?
The bowels.
But you don't get sent there just because you kill a mutant.
You probably do.
Well, no, I think because there isn't a law against killing mutants. There's only a law against killing humans. Anyway, Karma, can we give Karma like a real relationship, please?
Yeah.
Also, learn to use her powers right. Some people, because sometimes they write her as if she's like telepathic, and other times they write her where she can like ride along with people, and other times she just only fully possesses people.
I prefer her as only like a body jumper.
Yeah, that's what and I feel that there's so many, I feel like, here's a cool thing. Can you imagine if Karma and Madrox were on a mission together?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Like he could make some dupes and she could just take turns possessing them?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much like, come on.
There's so much to do.
But they didn't get... She's, like, hasn't got her due. And she's, like, Vietnamese. Like, she's a different race. Like, I feel like there's so much depth there that people are, like, just ignoring. Although it's weird. Like, she originally was... A lot of her history was from the Vietnam War. But I guess now, because she's only supposed to be, like, 25, that doesn't really make sense anymore.
Yeah. There are other lesbians out there, too. There's Bling.
Bling, who is awful. Why, like, let's... Poor Bling and Anole, the two young gays. Let's have it where,
they get
like,
no.
where you look where no one's going to want to have sex with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bling is
the body
like,
horror
is like
gaze.
what is she made of? Diamond?
Diamond. Maybe it's like Rocky and there's like only so much diamond. I think it's diamond though, all diamond.
Yeah. I wonder, but then how does that work? Of like, is her body all hard? Does it, like, what's her vagina like?
I don't know.
Can she feel pleasure?
First of all, it's priceless. So before you get to coming for her vagina, just know it's priceless.
But is that it?
No, I would say there is.
There's another ex-lesbian.
I would say the X-Men probably have a lesbian more prominent than any of the characters we discussed so far. More iconic, a more iconic lesbian than Mystique and Destiny.
Who?
We're talking about Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde? Pussy Pryde?
Yes. Yes, Kate Pryde. I'm sorry, Kate Pryde. Kate Pryde, you're a lesbian girl.
Honey, you gay girl.
Honey. Kitty, you a lesbian girl.
I was sending...
Right.
Yes, okay, as you said, I said previously when we were talking about Iceman, looking back, you can go back with any character and make claims that they are gay. So we're gonna fucking do that with Kitty Pryde.
But she makes it easy.
Yeah, we're now going to say that Kitty Pryde is gay. Oh, I mean, maybe we could say bisexual because she does dick down with a lot of dudes.
Oh, sure. Whatever.
Because she has fully, unlike Iceman, she has had a penis in her.
She definitely has had a penis in her and through her. Probably.
But it's fully written that she has had at least Star-Lord's, Colossus's, and Pete Wisdom's penis inside of her.
Yes.
That being said, she doesn't... All of her relationships... Colossus might be the most intense, but I also feel it's because she was fucking 13 and he was an adult when it started, so that one might be a little... And he came back to life, so I think she was feeling a lot of guilt and confusion. But all of the other relationships were very combative and almost like she was trying to prove something.
Yeah, there was really no deep emotional connection.
She always liked guys that like questioned her. Or there was someone like Doug Ramsey where she's like, I think I might love Doug Ramsey, but she doesn't act on it. Instead, she's like, I think I love you, Doug. Oh, wait, let me go hang out with my roommate, Ileana.
Right.
Ileana Rasputin.
Yeah, Ileana Rasputin, who early in like around the 180s in X-Men, Kitty sure did tickle Ileana so much that they phased through the bed.
When did that happen? Is that a New Mutants or X-Men?
X-Men.
They had a tickle fight and she phased through the bed?
Yeah. Ileana's like, Kitty, you're making us phase through the bed. Stop.
Oh, my God.
You're getting too close to my vagina. Stop.
She's diddling her skittle.
Getting too close to my nipple. There's that. There's when Storm unveiled her mohawk look, her punk look in X-Men 173, Uncanny 173. Kitty freaks the fuck out for like issues.
Yeah. Until Storm sweeps her up in the air. I read this issue.
And it's like, recently. What is your fucking problem? She's like,
oh,
I just think of you as a mom, that's all.
And she's like, well, guess what? I'm my own fucking person, too. Am I allowed to have my own fucking life? Like, Storm fucking reads her to filth. And then Kitty's like, I'm sorry.
She's like, you just look dykey, okay?
You look like a dyke, and then people are going to know about us. Yeah, Kitty can't handle Storm looking like a lesbian.
And then she tickles Ileana till they phase. Then she gets Ileana's soul sword after the Beyonder kills the New Mutants around Uncanny X-Men 203.
And also, wait a minute, can we talk about starting at around X-Men 190, Kitty Pryde gets permed mullet haircut. mullet, lesbian.
Chic.
Also becomes a ninja master with all the boys. Yeah. Lesbian.
The Beyonder erases the New Mutants from existence.
Lesbian.
Nobody even remembers they exist, except for Kitty. Kitty remembers Ileana.
Yeah, her vagina remembers. And you know who her roommate was after Ileana?
Rachel?
Remember, was all like, oh, Rachel. And then they were all best friends. And then they had that super close bond and relationship, which extended all the way to Excalibur, where then her crush was that guy, Alistair. But guess what? He didn't even like her. He was with Rachel. So was she really jealous of Rachel being with Alistair?
Right.
Or was she jealous of Alistair being with Rachel?
So I read an interview with Chris Claremont, I believe, on Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men last year.
Lesbian.
He said his intent was for that the love of Kitty's life to be Rachel.
In Excalibur?
Overall.
Oh, intense.
He said, I always intended Kitty and Rachel to be a thing. I mean, there are moments in Excalibur.
Well, Excalibur is the only time I like Rachel is in Excalibur. Because even after Chris Claremont gets Rachel back in the X-Men and he starts writing again, she becomes this whiny brat, like, Cyclops is with Emma. Like, she's just annoying after that, and I hate her. But in Excalibur, she's just like this kind of free, like this wild card, this kind of free spirit, sexy, because also, remember how she was like super skinny and just wore those ugly leg warmers in the X-Men? But she got to Excalibur and she was like smoking hot and was always just showing off her boobs.
And her mullet.
Yeah, I would love it if they were together. That would have been great.
When Rachel does come back, she comes back in Uncanny. Well, she comes back in Extreme X-Men during the whole Elias Bogan storyline. When she comes back in Uncanny X-Men, she walks in on Kitty and Peter together and was like, she's in such a good mood. She's like, I can't wait to see Kit. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Wasn't she like in disguise?
Like, why are you so upset?
Wasn't she like a ninja? Or like they didn't, like there was...
She was like all black.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. She loved it. But then before we get to that, in between, at the end of Excalibur, Colossus comes back to the group, but she's not interested in Colossus anymore. Doug Ramsey as Douglock is back in the group, but she's not interested in him anymore. No, more statutory rape a-comin'. She goes with Pete Wisdom. Her and Pete Wisdom have a thing. To the point where, was it Scott Lobdell writing it? Where he did not realize that she was only 15? And so they had to age her 3 years and specifically say that she was 18 now. Even though only a few months had passed time-wise from her turning 15 in Excalibur.
Yeah. Didn't she try to go to a college before that? Like, she had a few issues of Excalibur that took place at, like, a school for girls.
That was a high school.
Hello. Oh, it was a high school.
Yeah. This is the high school girls from Heck.
Oh, well, wait. Speaking of Excalibur, way earlier than this, around the 30, where the cross-time caper is coming to an end, she makes it back to Earth first.
Oh yes, this is the one actual lesbian affair that did happen, what we know of.
With Saturnine, aka Courtney Ross.
Yeah, Courtney Ross had sex with Kitty Pryde.
All right, let's talk about this.
Against her will, possibly. I was taking pictures and just sending them to Brett. Like, what? Like, these pictures taken out of context is basically Courtney Ross plotting the rape of Kitty Pryde.
Saturnine, like, she first sees Kitty when Kitty makes it back home to Earth. She falls asleep on a bed, like, butt in the air, and Saturnine creeps in. She's like, I've got plans for that butt.
I'm gonna make it mine. Like, she literally says, I'm gonna make you mine. Like, she's looking at Kitty Pryde's butt and says, I'm gonna make you mine. Lesbian.
And then she's like, all right, time to Courtney Ross it up. Oh, hi, I'm Brian's ex-girlfriend, Courtney Ross, not Saturnine. I'm going to sit on your bed with a birthday cake and wish you happy birthday. And then what happens?
I'm going to scoop some icing and stick my finger in your mouth for you to suck the icing off. Lesbian.
And then I'm going to take you shopping, to fancy dinners, driving around in a convertible.
I'm going to dress you up, make you look older. It's all about how, like, no, tonight you're an adult. I'm going to give you a night of an adult.
We're going to drink. We're going to drink champagne. We're going to get you drunk.
There's one part, and I reread this again, and the part where she's like, what kind of champagne do you want? And Kitty just goes, earring, pendant,
Because
crystal.
she's pointing to her earring.
Yeah, and then she goes, crystal, and he's like, excellent choice. I'm like, that is the dumbest thing ever.
Right. And what was he thinking during earring?
Pendant?
Yeah, it's definitely a lesbian love affair. It's like a lesbian weekend. They have a lesbian weekend together.
Even when she goes to the high school, she's like spying on her through binoculars at the high school.
But then I don't think any of this ever goes anywhere.
It does.
I don't think. What was Saturnine's intent the entire time?
Her intent was to make her one of her soldiers, and that comes when Betsy shows up, because now this is post when Rachel leaves. Rachel is catatonic, and the Phoenix flies off with her after they battle Necrom, and the lighthouses are all blown up, so they have to move into the Braddock Manor, and Betsy comes to visit, and while Betsy visits, it turns out that Saturnine has gotten Jamie, and Saturnine and Jamie attack everybody, and that's when finally it's revealed that she was Saturnine all the time, and her and Kitty have a moment where she was like, you fucking bitch, I trusted you, we were friends, and how could you do this? You betrayed me. Like, there's a whole moment, and that's when it ends with Kitty taking a gun and then just shooting Saturnine in the chest, but being like, I know that these are just tranquilizers, not real bullets. Like, Kitty was betrayed because Saturnine ate her pussy, and it was her first real splash in the waters of lesbianism. And it turns out she was just evil. She got Iceman. It was her
first real orgasm.
Yeah, she got Iceman Mystique. His first, like, oh, maybe I can be straight. Yeah, sure, she grew a dick in the middle of it, but maybe I can be straight with Mystique. Nope, she was evil.
She grew a dick in the middle of it. If I had a nickel. So I brought up a limited series pre-show to you.
Okay.
And I was hoping you had not read it. I was hoping you weren't that familiar with it. I do remember it. Mechanics.
What is this?
6-issue limited series by Chris Claremont.
When did this come out? What year?
So this is around the time Extreme X-Men is happening. So this is like 2003.
Okay.
So Chris Claremont does a 6-issue limited series about Kitty leaving the life, moving back to Chicago.
Oh yeah, and she like goes to school.
And she goes to college.
Yeah.
And it's called Mechanics because she's part of this engineering class, and like they have this machinery that goes crazy and like almost blows up the city. And a lot of it is her running from and fighting the wild Sentinels that Cassandra Nova had created. So a lot like the Sentinel that destroyed Genosha, only like miniaturized.
Okay.
So while she's there, she's working as a bartender in this gay guy's bar. And even it's very he's clearly gay. It's very coded. He's not out, but he meets one of Kitty's male friends and he's like, hello.
Is it a gay bar?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. It's called Bells of Hell, like Southern Belle.
That's a gay bar.
So Kitty is bartending and all of a sudden one of her old friends shows up and is like, ooh, hi, Kitty. And Kitty's like, oh, my God. Karma, what are you doing here? And she's like, I live here with my little brother and sister. Trying to make ends meet.
Wanna diddle our clits together? Let's go home and scissor.
So they hang out and like, you know, there's talk like Kitty likes this boy, doesn't like this boy, whatever. But like Karma is very much the love interest character.
Really?
So they're on the run. So issue 5. Issue 5. They are on the run.
From the Sentinel.
From the Sentinel. Yes. They're on a construction site at night.
Okay.
And they're on the run. And, I mean, Shan's power's useless against this thing.
Yeah, she can't possess a robot.
So it's pretty much just Kitty. Right. So it's Kitty pretty much just saving Shan on the run from this thing. So they have a moment where, like, rubble happens and Kitty, like, dives and tackles Shan, saves her life, and they're on top of each other with all this rubble falling down around them and the Sentinel, like, right behind them. Kitty says, Shan, I don't know what it is. I'm just so happy to hear you laugh. I know I should be scared right now, but I'm not, because I'm happy to hear you laugh.
Why was Shan laughing?
Because Kitty, like, made some joke.
Oh, okay.
And then the caption, which is Kitty's inner monologue, says, for that precious moment, things are moving in a direction I never imagined. We both forget how much trouble we're still in. And the panel is Kitty and Karma about to kiss.
What?
Yes.
I do not even know about this.
Claremont made it canon, and then it was decidedly ignored.
Claremont always wanted her to be a lesbian.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
Ignored.
Is it called Mechanics?
With an X.
Like Nix?
No, an X at the end.
It's not in Marvel, the Marvel Unlimited.
Because they want it burned.
I need to read this. Well, so it looks like clearly Kitty explored consensual lesbianism.
Yeah, Kitty Pryde is queer.
With Karma.
Right. After her run-in with Saturnine.
Yeah, and then she decides to like date a gay guy, Iceman. And then she's like, I can't handle any of this. I'm going to go out into... then she gets with Colossus before that. And that's all just reliving. That's the other thing is how problematic is... How old is Colossus when he starts macking on a 13-year-old?
Too old.
But was he still a teenager? Was he like 19?
I mean, did you ever really think of Colossus as being like 16? No, right? He was always like older.
But I feel like he's like 19.
Sure.
But it's still gross.
It's still gross.
And then not only that, he then fucks another girl in Secret Wars. And then is like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking love you anymore. And then he just ups and dies. And then she gets back together with him. Then he goes all crazy with the Phoenix Force. And then they decide to get back. Why do they get back together again?
Ugh. But when they do, Ileana's like, listen, don't marry him.
And she doesn't. Because she was like, maybe Ileana still loves me.
Because, well, I got something about Ileana. So I'm going to cut to all new X-Men number 25, Bendis.
Uh-huh.
It's a milestone issue. Do you remember the conversation? The whole thing is Beast in his bed at night and he can't sleep. And there's somebody in his room in shadow talking to him. And the person talking to him is painting all these different futures of Beast's actions.
Uh-huh.
And it's all like different artists doing splash pages that depict different futures. One of them is a future where the X-Men are, quote, and by the way, the person in Beast's room turns out to be the Watcher at the end. Mm-hmm. And he delivers that line, I'm the Watcher, Henry McCoy, and you disgust me. One of them is a future where the X-Men are, quote, free to live and free to love. And the whole page is kind of a splash page montage of two kind of heavy metal, like the animated movie, fantasy, like warrior women in bikinis, killing monsters together, posing on top of each other, holding hands in bikinis, running through the ocean together.
So straight men lesbianism.
Straight men lesbianism, and it's Kitty and Ileana.
Yum.
Some real straight man lesbianism.
Hot.
Lesbianism.
So even when it came down to brass tacks, Ileana was able to convince her to leave her man, leaving Colossus devastated.
Right.
And now that leads us to, who is Kitty now? Kitty is a fucking tomboy pirate with a broken nose, a black eye, drinking whiskey, and kicking ass.
And also...
Fuck men. And then she's like, me and Emma, fuck men. We don't fucking need men anymore. Men can go fuck themselves.
Emma, who kisses me on the cheek and, like, walks around in her underwear in front of me. I mean, I know that was Callista, but still. I'm sure Emma did it off camera.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, they've got a very kind of physical, sexual relationship, the two of them.
So here's what I would... Go ahead.
It's hard not to have a sexual relationship with Emma, but...
Of course. Of course. But here's the thing with Emma. Emma loves dick. So I don't think she would get with Kitty.
Oh, I think Emma loves kissing other women.
That's the thing, is Emma would, like, make out with you... like, after she had a few too many martinis. But then when Kitty's like, let me eat you out, she's like, oh, no, darling, I'm going to go get fucked by a Cyclops. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think she's like one of those.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, too.
But here's the deal. This is what I want to happen. Kitty is dead, and they can't resurrect her. Clearly, they're going to bring her back. Like, she's going to be brought back. I think when she is brought back, I would like... for her to have a come to Jesus moment. And she's like, now that I'm alive and I get to live my life, I'm going to live my life the way I want. I'm a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian.
Lesbian.
Have you seen that TikTok video of Sarah Paulson on video with Kate Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett's like, I'm a lesbian. And Sarah Paulson goes, you're a lesbian.
Sarah Paulson's talking about how CBD oil is helping prevent corona.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's Kate Blanchett, I'm a lesbian. What? You're a lesbian? I've watched that video on loop like 80 goddamn times.
It's so funny. Have you seen their interview, like their Ocean's 8 Today Show interview?
No.
Look it up. Kate Blanchett, Sarah Paulson, Today Show interview off the rails. They apparently were drinking the wine that Kathy Lee Gifford or whatever them have. They're both drunk off their ass.
I have to.
You have to watch it. They're drunk. And they won't let the interview is just crying, laughing, because they're just like being like, oh yeah, I hate her. She's a bitch. She's a bitch. Well, I won an Oscar. She only won an Emmy. She only won an Emmy. Oh yeah. Well, you didn't get the Emmy. Oh, you were just nominated for one. You lost. Like they were just reading each other for filth and not letting the interview answer any questions. It's hilarious. I'll send you a link.
It honestly, if I was a lesbian,
I would be with Kate Blanchett.
Ultimate sexiest is Kate Blanchett during the Ocean's 8 era, like especially in the movie. It does not get sexier than that.
And then she had to rue it. What was that awful movie that came out recently? Like, What's Up with Paulette? Or
what happened to Bernadette? Where'd you go, Bernadette?
Where'd you go, Bernadette? That looks like garbage.
Yeah. Did you ever see Carol?
Yeah. Lesbian.
I haven't seen it, but I just watched.
What?
I watched Back Off.
Sarah Paulson and Kate Blanchett.
Oh, Sarah Paulson's in it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I just watched the ending, is my point. I was like, I'm on a BuzzFeed listicle of like the 25 best movie endings, and it was one of them.
Carol?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
They just look, I don't know.
I don't know. Let's not go nuts. I don't know if that's the best ending ever. But
I'm a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian. I remember
I am a lesbian.
Me and my one friend, I used to do speech and debate, and me and my one friend did duo interpretation where both of us would perform a play and compete against other people doing 10-minute excerpts of plays. And I don't even remember what play it was, but I did
that shit.
But these two bad actresses were doing some lesbian play. And I don't remember the name of the play. I don't remember who wrote it. All I remember is me and my partner just making fun of them because it would just be like, Mom, I'm a lesbian. But I thought she wanted to have children. And I just
do,
remember us,
Mom.
like, we just kept making fun of their bad acting the whole entire time.
Oh.
Those things, it was always someone doing The Odd Couple, someone doing Night Mother, and then me. I did Bent. You ever read Bent?
No.
That's it was Richard Gere where he got his start. It's two gays in a concentration camp.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, you're going to do The Odd Couple? We're going to talk about gay people being forced to have sex with dead bodies.
I won first place my sophomore year because we did Atticus Finch interrogating Mayella Ewell on the stand in To Kill a Mockingbird.
I won number one in the state when I did Children of a Lesser God and memorized the sign language.
Did you use ASL?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I did the sign language and I did like the last like fight scene between Marlee Matlin and William Hurt. That was funny where someone's like, I'm doing The Odd Couple. And then I'm like, I'm going to fucking do sign language. And it was like, fuck all of you.
Someone always did, oh God, there was the same monologue over and over. It was all about like being abused by one's parents and like the blue flame and I can't remember what it is. And someone always did fences too. Anyway, and Agnes of God.
Oh, Agnes of God. Yeah, that too. Bullshit. Anyway, I miss those days. I loved competitive acting. It was
Me too.
like doing the
loved
Oscars because you would act and then at the end of the day they would give you awards like the Oscars.
They would call you out. My director, Sandra Van Dyke, once on a bus ride on the way.
Sandra Van Dyke.
Thank you. It all comes full circle. On the bus ride on the way to a competition, she threw a book of monologues at me and said, "Brett, memorize this monologue. You're gonna do it." And I was like, "Oh, I can't memorize this in like an hour." And I memorized it, and I won 4th place.
That's amazing. I love it.
I love it. So listen, Rachel was always intended to be Kitty's true love.
So come on. Hickman, if you're listening to this, or wait, who's writing Marauders?
Jerry Duggan. He's going to do it.
He's Duggan.
He's going to go there.
Come on. You've already started.
I have faith.
You've started it. Let's finish it.
I have faith he's going to do it.
And all I know is I want Kitty drunk and tongue deep in some girl's poon.
I'm saying
next 6 months.
It's the bisexual ship. Iceman, Pyro, they're all bis, gays and bis, and
But
queers,
that's not
all
the gay
of them.
Pyro.
Storm. Oh, but I bet he'll come out too. I bet. He's never had a female love interest. He writes novels. He writes mystery novels.
And he's British, so it's always hard to tell.
I think he's Australian.
He's Australian? Well, same difference. No, I'm just kidding. Don't read me for that. Don't cancel me. Okay, so let's end this with who should Kitty be with? Because Karma. Okay. First
They had that moment.
she needs a leg. No, I'm just kidding. Kitty deserves a girl with a leg, with 2 legs. No, I'm kidding. Karma, that's the thing, is Karma, they just haven't done anything interesting with her. The same thing with Rachel is now gross, so I don't want her to be with Rachel. Honestly, the person that I think I'd want her to be with is Magic.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. That's why Ileana was like, "Don't marry my brother."
And also, can you imagine Colossus finding out that your ex-fiance and love of your life that you still aren't over is now eating out your sister?
I love that.
That's why Colossus and Magic need to be added to the Marauders team to add with that delicious tension.
Ooh, yeah.
Brett, next
can't
week
wait for it to
comics
come
are
back.
coming. Isn't Marauders coming out
Marauders
next
is
week?
back.
Ah!
Oh my God, did you see the preview?
No, there's a preview already? Is Kitty alive?
Yes,
Is Kitty
girl.
alive? Is Kitty back?
No, not yet. No. No, they go after the power dampening equipment. They go after that technology.
Oh, good. I was so annoyed by that.
Storm goes to Forge, and she's like, a lot of people are using your tech.
Oh, it's based off of his that depowered her.
Yes.
Oh, so she's like, remember that, you little piece of shit?
Mm-hmm.
What number is it?
Can't wait. 10.
Oh, my God. Well, I feel we did Lesbians justice.
I think we did. I mean, as best as you and I can do.
Yeah. And granted, Is this as good as if two lesbians were talking about?
Not even close.
Of course not. But you know what? We're trying. And
That's right.
let's lesbian. We're gaying up the Marvel X-Men world. Let's dyke it up too.
That's right.
All right. Well, I guess we're done.
Okay.
We have nothing else to say.
That's fantastic. Oh my God! All right.
Can we end instead of
yes.
queer? Can we say lesbian?
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, please follow us, subscribe to us, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Like us. Please write a review. Is the contest still going on?
Yes. Please make a donation to the Books Industry Charitable Foundation. That's bink.org. Once you do, you can send us a confirmation about your donation, and we will give you one of several treats that we have established. You can send that to cbqbrett@gmail.com or at the Comic Book Queers Twitter DM hole.
And speaking of holes, just remember, if you read comics, well, then that makes you a lesbian.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm fucking EvilJeff and shit.